Well, hello. My name is Nicholas Bradbury.
I'm Louisa Hardman.
Hello, my name is Burnett. I'm the original creator of On Becoming. I'm a urologist by clinical trade, and when On Becoming came about, I was also the head of school for the Physician Associates.
I've been ordained as an Anglican priest since 1973, although please don't project any stereotypes on me because I've been more Hindu than Christian since I was about 22. I like to think of a balance of integrating human development in the sense of knitting together body, mind, spirit, heart in one whole, not just in service of our own personal healing and well-being, but also to the end that the world may be a more loving and compassionate place.
Maybe atypically, I started out as a solicitor. I decided on a bold move and I jettisoned my law career and decided that I'd retrain in psychology. I did various endless studies in occupational psychology and in Gestalt therapy, basically looking for the kind of work that would contribute to creating the kind of world I want to live in. Interestingly, Kate wanted to commission a piece of work, leadership development, for a new healthcare professional group, the Physicians Associates, and couldn't quite find the right programme, because the programs that were being suggested were either skills-based, or they were technical, or they were quite transactional, or they were just coaching skills, or just something else. And then Nicholas organised a meeting of the three of us where we discussed what Kate was being offered. And it became apparent that actually what she was looking for was something that hadn't been done before. And that's what excited us all, because we realised that just because it hadn't been done before, well, actually, just because it hadn't been done before was the reason that it should be done.
The approach of On Becoming is the most distinctive and, for me, important thing about it. And since I went to the King's Fund just after 2000, I have developed and evolved an approach which takes absolutely seriously that to develop the leader is to develop the human being who is that leader, and there are no shortcuts. The participant in programs that I run, the deal is you have to make a deep personal inquiry into yourself. It's no good having Harvard's latest bullet points about the 7 habits of this and the 5 wise ways of doing that. It's got to come from the inside outwards, and it's got to go to your, what Jung calls your shadow side. It's got to really allow you to have a think about who you are, how you've become who you are, what was great about who you are, and what are the difficulties and downsides. In particular, what might you want not to face into? What are you resisting about finding out about what it's like to be on the receiving end of you?
I think leadership is a sense of being. I think it's in our sense, and we have to know ourselves enough to know our stance, to know how when we react to the world, where that comes from for us.
The stance of the programme is that to develop the leader, you need to develop the human being who is the leader. So the reason we call it On Becoming is because Carl Rogers, many years ago, wrote a really great book called On Becoming a Person. And that's what this programme references, the idea of on becoming a person.
Let's just take one absolutely fundamental ingredient of the On Becoming programme, which would be helping people to learn to become a coach. Just by the simple technique of learning to ask open questions, short, sharp questions that begin with how or what. What's your next step? What are your options? What will it look like when you've taken that step? How are you feeling about this? You open up people and learn without judgment to facilitate and enable them to get deeper into whatever it is that they're struggling with or thinking about or trying to be creative about.
So everything's real, everything's applied, and we reflect on everything. It's not just, here's how to do it, practice the skill, away you go. It's, well, what's challenging about this for all of us? Well, how can we face into that challenge? So let's have a go. How was that then? So what are you going to do differently? And what would really support you to do that differently? And through all of that, not only do we see people really growing, but we start to see people creating real change around them and real connection between themselves. This is a world that needs leadership. It's a world that needs courageous leadership. It's a world that needs something different. And On Becoming is a leadership program that develops difference. It develops courage. It develops the leadership that your world needs now.
We are rather finding that there's a momentum both in us and in others, who you could call them allies and associates, for letting On Becoming become almost a movement, an On Becoming movement.
This is a system of human development. It helps us understand about ourselves. It helps us understand about the system that we're in.
We're looking for allies. We're looking for people who want to join us. We're looking for people who share this approach. And we're looking for practical ways in which On Becoming can be expressed in the future.